Hi guys, good morning. So today for video 12, I want to talk about another really common question, which is what are all these ketone supplement products that exist out there in the world, and they're becoming more popular. So I'm sure if you follow anything keto related on the internet, you probably are going to start seeing ads for either like Prove It OS or Kiss My Keto or My Perfect Keto or any of these products. And there's like, the industry is booming, obviously, as keto is. And so I want to talk to you guys about what you can expect, what it's good for, what it's not good for. And this is actually a super complicated process because it actually gets down to the molecules. What is glucose doing for your body? What are ketones doing for your body? What kinds of ketones are there? There are 3 kinds of ketones. Are they made naturally? Are they made synthetically? Is it for weight loss? Is it for disease prevention? Is it for, all these things? It really depends on what you're trying to accomplish with your keto plan, your strategy. So first and foremost, 2 terms. One is exogenous, meaning we are getting ketones outside of our body, right, as a supplement. The other one is endogenous, meaning those are the ketones that our body is making through our diet, right? So first and foremost, the number one thing I have to underline is there is no such thing as taking a ketone supplement and not doing a ketogenic diet. Stupid, don't do it. There's actually 0 research, and they have absolutely no idea what a high ketone level in your blood, as if you were to supplement, and a high carbohydrate diet will do for you long term. There's no research on that. So don't try that. You may not at all be able to really become fat adapted long term if you do it that way, if you're not ingesting dietary fat. So my philosophy around supplementing with exogenous ketones is you have to have a really good reason why you need to take a supplement to raise those ketones outside of the body instead of creating them inside your body with your diet. Okay, so say for example, I came home from KetoCon in Austin a couple of weeks ago, and I sat down next to this woman who happened to be a nutritionist, and nutritionist, and was really against keto and didn't want to do it. And she had been at KetoCon, so we had tons to talk about. And what happened for her is she had a lifetime of seizures, and she had 3 very terrible seizures during labor with her 2nd child. And they were finally like, okay, we need to go to extreme measures and we might have to do surgery. So she was like, okay, well, if I'm going to that extreme, why not try the keto diet? So she loved it. She hasn't had a seizure in 4 months, but because high ketone levels are such a amazing, so anti-inflammatory for the brain and such a powerful neuroprotector, she actually needs to be within a very therapeutic range. When I tell you guys, for general health and weight loss, you want to be between 1.5 and 3 on your Keto Mojo reader. That's like a good therapeutic thing for your normal off the street person. But if someone's dealing with something really crazy like epilepsy, which ketosis is amazing for, you actually want to creep up those numbers because you need extra ketones floating in the body to suppress that epileptic activity. So seizure activity. So for her, having really high numbers makes a lot of sense. So in addition to her ketogenic diet, she takes an exogenous ketone supplement. Okay, perfect therapeutic example. They're also studying Alzheimer's greatly because I was looking at someone's question. Teresa, I see your question, I'll answer it. Alzheimer's is really, they're calling it diabetes 3, and really all that's happening is the same thing that happens in your body with other insulin resistance issues. The same thing kind of happens in the brain with Alzheimer's. All that happens is our brains become less efficient at utilizing glucose for energy. So we actually have dying cells in our brain, and the first cells that tend to die are the ones we need for memory and cognition. They find when they put somebody on a keto supplement, that cognition memory comes back because your brain can actually use ketones more efficiently. So that's another really powerful therapeutic example. So what's happening with these exogenous ketone supplements? First and foremost, just know that there are 3 kinds of ketones in the body. There's acetone, acetoacetate, and beta hydroxybutyrate, which is BHB. Actually, BHB is technically not a ketone, but it works as a ketone in our body, so people get really chemically confused by that. My husband did, because he's a chemist. So if you ever see BHB isn't a ketone, for our purposes, it is. And actually, when you use your Keto Mojo, what it's doing is it's reading your BHB level from your blood sample. The breath is measuring acetate off your breath, but we actually don't continue to excrete acetate through our breath or our urine the way we do. In the beginning, we pump out a lot more, and then our body becomes more efficient using ketones. We actually don't pass as many, so that's why I don't recommend that form of reading long term for breath or for urine strips, because it gets all kind of wonky. So really what we're talking about, and then if you're going to supplement, usually it's BHB, and you can get them in 2 forms. One is a ketone salt and one's a ketone ester. Ketone esters are really efficient for the body, but they're still working on exactly how to make them manageable. They taste absolutely awful. We might see some ketone ester products later this year, because I think they're still working on that. But ketone salts are really what we're talking about when we're looking at, Prove It, when we're looking at your normal everyday Kiss My Keto or whatever other ketone supplement products. Okay. So if you're fighting cancer, if you are having immune issues, if you have a reason to have your ketone level be really high for a therapeutic reason other than weight loss, then absolutely it can be justified. Okay. My biggest problem is, you guys know I love direct sales. I've been running a direct sales team now for 5 years, and I have about 3,500 people underneath of me. But I take the responsibility of being a rep for a company very seriously, and I never talk about something I don't know about. And what I see sometimes when ketone salts are being sold through a direct sales company, you have really great, amazing, educated folks, and you got people telling the masses that they can take this ketone salt and not do a ketogenic diet and not change their diet, and they're going to lose weight and all these amazing things are going to happen. I don't recommend that you necessarily go right to, this is going to answer your question, Teresa, I don't recommend you go right to a ketone salt product for weight loss purposes. I would play with your nutrition first, and this is why. Ketones and glucose are energy that our body uses, right? All we're doing with being in ketosis is switching our fuel type to be able to burn our own fat stores. Now, does it make sense to add more ketones to our body exogenously when really what we want to be doing is making ketones from our fat stores endogenously? Meaning we want to burn our fuel, we want to burn our fat stores ourselves. So really I would play with nutrition first before I would ever leap to using a ketone supplement in order to boost weight loss. Now, and you're saying, Kelly, but everyone says ketone salts are so great for weight loss. Taking ketones into your body, because your body is giving it a more stable fuel source, does suppress your appetite naturally. Okay, so that's great. Awesome. And I think people do lose weight from that, especially in the beginning. But if you're fat adapted and you've been like moving and grooving and like you've had great ketone readings, there isn't any real benefit to, like, you're not losing more weight at 3 or 3.5 than you are at 1.5 or 2, right? So there is no point in adding ketone supplements to boost weight loss after you've already gone through all of the processes of getting into ketosis, being fat adapted, and teaching your body how to fat. What I would do instead is I would work with fasting. I would lower your carb a little bit, or lower calories slightly according to your daily activity. If you're breastfeeding, you can't reduce your calories too much. And also know that your hormones are working possibly against you to lose weight, so just be patient with yourself in that regard. But maybe close your eating window, so you're getting all the right amount of calories, but just shorten your eating window. These are the things that I would play with far before I would ever use a ketone supplement for weight loss specifically. Now, that said, of course, I have like a big but. If you are dealing with something where weight loss has become a complication of something else, type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, you know, cancer, hypertension, any of these things, your body does respond to ketones as fuel better in regards to glucose and insulin. So, that said, you can go ahead and feel justified trying it out as an experiment if your first and foremost goal is to get your blood sugar under control. Then maybe you just use exogenous ketones for a little while until you are deep into ketosis and your body starts using its own fat stores as fuel. And then from there, you will already have worked well into normal blood sugar numbers and you're losing weight, which is the long-term goal, right? We don't want to take exogenous ketones to just have these elevated ketone numbers, but then not be losing the weight, right? But if you have like a real, an athletic performance need, absolutely take exogenous ketones, right? People love training on exogenous ketones. If it's for, say you don't have a weight to lose and you really don't have any kind of chronic illness and you're like, I'm just here because I just want to be generally healthy, awesome. Have a couple of packs use around in the house. Sometimes I do. If I study two big, dorky, amazing keto guys who are biochemists. One is Peter Attia and the other one is Dominic D'Agostino. And Dominic D'Agostino is probably like the leading researcher in and around the area of ketones. He was brought on by DOD to study ketones because of its anti-seizure effect for the purposes of Navy SEALs who have to go underwater. And the deeper you go underwater, the more seizure prone you can be, and it's dangerous. So he was brought on to do this research a long time ago and then really ramped up all the benefits that ketones can bring to everybody. So if you've never listened to any podcasts with Dominic D'Agostino, I highly recommend it. I think his earliest ones, there was one in 2014 and one in 2015, or 15 and 16 with the Tim Ferriss show. And then I just listened to a really great one from the end of, and that's 3 hours long and it's amazing. And then I just listened to a fresh one where Peter Attia interviewed Dominic D'Agostino, and it's really thick and in the weeds, but if you're really interested in cancer, that is a really great one. The whole last hour of that podcast is about glioblastomas and what Dominic D'Agostino would do from a ketosis perspective for himself or a loved one in and around like a keto strategy for a really tough cancer. And I just find that stuff so beyond fascinating. So, especially because we have glioblastoma on Mike's side of the family. So therapeutic reasons, 100%. If you have really tough blood sugar or insulin issues, using exogenous ketones might make a lot of sense for you. If it's you're here just for weight loss, or maybe for me, I probably use exogenous ketones so rarely because I want my body to use its own fat stores. My PCOS will improve when my body weight is lower. That's just like the brutal truth of having a classic PCOS presentation, is the lower my body fat is, the more my hormones improve. And vice versa, the more my hormones improve, the more weight I lose. I mean, it's a tug and go. But so those are my feelings on exogenous ketones. I think that they're a powerful therapeutic tool. I do not believe that they are the end all be all and are going to make you lose weight faster and are going to make keto easier and all that stuff. You still need to have a really deeply nutritious ketogenic lifestyle, whether you are doing a classic keto plan or fasting or whatever it is. You still need that to do that. You can't add exogenous ketones to a crappy diet. So that's first and foremost, want to battle that message. And then second is exogenous ketones can be really helpful for any therapeutic needs, especially brain related, cognition related, mood related, anxiety, depression, anything related to blood sugar, all that good stuff. Okay, so if you have questions about this, feel free to post them below. I know a lot of you probably have ketone products at this point, and maybe we can just talk about like when it's better to use them. If I have a higher carb day by accident, I'll totally hit up my exogenous ketone product, right? Because I just want to maintain where I'm at, because I just want to hang on that day, but I don't expect to have major weight loss goals that day. Do you know what I'm saying? So I definitely use it as a tool, and it's a true term of supplementation. I supplement my ketogenic lifestyle, my true ketogenic, holistically keto lifestyle, every once in a while with an exogenous ketone for out of norm situations, because that is my goal is weight loss and PCOS correction. For everybody else, if you have other high ketone level needs for a specific health issue, it might make a lot of sense for you to take a ketone supplement, whether it's a pill or a drink mix or putting some in your coffee or whatever. And sometimes MCT oil is just enough to be able to pump up your ketone levels enough, but sometimes people have a hard time with MCT oil, so they might use an exogenous ketone product instead, or a BHB salt. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Join us on the Instagram page at Holistically Keto, and make sure you're here in the forum at Holistically Keto Facebook group. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Bye.